Good morning. It is Wednesday, December 4th. I just sat down to drink coffee and think about what I'm doing today. I thought it would be fun with this shift toward chaos in the margins to try to film things as I do them or as I think about them. I still see myself sitting down a lot and talking about a specific topic. I kind of like that podcasty method, but we'll see how this goes and see how I feel about it. Really, vlogging isn't something I've tried to do. I don't think this will be that. It'll probably just be more clips of me saying things as they come to my mind instead of keeping notes and then having one sit down. So we'll see. Working out the kinks. But I have been trying to plan my days better, be intentional about choices. And so I recorded a YouTube video yesterday and I got it scheduled for Thursday this week, which I'm really excited about. That'll be the first one I've posted in a long time. And I know I have one social media post scheduled today. I just paid Mariah, so you should start seeing more things from her, which is exciting. I know that I want to get at least 2 more social media posts up today. And I want to, I have to get some stuff done for my other job for the Monument Association. And then get those other 2 social media posts scheduled, and I think I'll probably just see where I'm at that point before I do anything else. If I think about too many things, nothing gets done. But I can definitely handle do your stuff for the association and get those other 2 posts up and then reevaluate. So that's what we're gonna do. I use Google Calendar as of recently. It's all color coded. It's kind of hard to focus on that. But the other thing I like is it has the tasks tab up at the top, which is cool because you can have all these tabs. So I have tabs for everything and they each get their own list of stuff I have to get done. And so that's been really helpful. I'm excited to see how a full year of digital planning versus attempting to use a planner and mostly failing it works out for me. So laptop's right here. I'm gonna do association work. I'm going to get those last 2 posts scheduled and then I will check back in with you. Hello, it is Saturday, which I'm really excited about. I'm not sure when I recorded the last clip, but I'm gonna try this. I don't know if it'll work or if I'll just end up sitting down and talking like normal. I think this is the cup I used in the last clip though. Let's see. Focus. But yeah, we'll try this for a little bit and see if it works or not, or if I'm better off just sitting in my office and talking about things. Okay, I'll see what we have, okay?
Mama, one peacock outside. Peacock go outside. One more pink. Oh, one more pink.
Okay. Okay, so coffee ready to go. Sorry, but that was my first drink of coffee and I really needed it. If you can hear my daughter's tablet in the background, sorry about that. My son and my husband went to go to the landfill this morning. We do recycling on top of the regular trash route, and it's recycling week. So my husband picked up all those this morning, and now they're going to drop those off now so that that's done, and then they'll be back. So I had a few minutes, and I wanted to talk about some mistakes I made. I wrote a blog post about this, so I'm going to be posting it this next week, probably the same week as this YouTube video gets posted. But I wanted to talk about it because we're like nearing the end of the year, getting ready to start a new year, and I feel like everybody's very like, you're always kind of gung-ho at the end of the year, right? You're like, what can I squeeze in to like end this year well? And then, okay, how am I carrying that into 2025? Like, the end and the beginning of the year, at least for me, are always very like motivational, inspirational. I love the weather this time of year. And I know that my productivity is higher during this time of year. So I'm gonna do my best to capitalize on that, and then pray to the writing gods that it doesn't disappear come like March. So the reason that I wanted to talk about mistakes, and I say this in the blog post as well, so I think that's how I'm gonna do this. Like, I'll talk about some stuff on the video that I'll also talk about in the blog, and vice versa. It may not be like verbatim, but that way it gives people a chance if they prefer to read it or prefer to watch it, but it's kind of covering mostly the same thing. Like, there could be differences, but kind of encompasses everything. I wanted to talk about mistakes because I feel like 2025 is really a turning point for me. It's 5 years since I published Soul Jumper in 2025, and toward the end, I think I published that book in October, but I feel like I'm at that place now where it's like, I've been in this long enough that I can recognize mistakes or changes or things I could have done differently. And I mean, you think about that as an indie author throughout the whole journey, every few months, every year, whatever. But now I have more of a big picture view of being an indie author. And I wanted to share those things because I think they're important for people just starting out, especially if you're like me and you're very all in. When I decide I'm gonna do something, I'm 100% gung-ho, do it all, do all the things. But you get burnt out very fast doing it that way. And if you are a person with ADHD, problems will arise. Because not just burnout, but distractions and all the other things that come with that. Plus, if you're a mom like me, or you have kids that you're taking care of, or other people in your life that you're taking care of, a lot of times your writing gets pushed to the back burner just because it has to be that way. And so your journey, and I've said this before in the past, and I think about it all the time, is going to look different if you're a mom, if you are a caretaker, if you have a full-time job or multiple full-time jobs. Like, if there's other things you're juggling with writing and publishing, your journey is going to look different than somebody who may not have all of those things. Not to say one's harder than the other. Writing's hard, publishing's hard, full stop. But just recognizing that that's why they say don't compare yourself to other people, because you don't know what's going on over there, and you have your own stuff going on. So I want to preface that with that, because I'm always a big advocate for being honest with yourself, putting yourself in check when you need to. I'm good at that, but also not being too hard on yourself. There's so many things that make up a day, and so many things that make up a lifetime, and so many things that make up a career. And so just recognizing, like, hey, I dropped the ball here, but giving yourself the grace to grow. I mean, it doesn't do you any good if you just beat yourself up all the time and nothing changes except you're sad. So, looking at it that way, the main thing I would say for new authors, and I've said this too before, is if you've been in this business a long time, the people I really admire have been in this a decade or longer. So I'm kind of at my halfway point with some of the people that I really look up to in this industry. They know this stuff, right? So that's not why I'm here. I'm here for the people just starting out. I'm here for the people who are writing their first book. I'm here for the people who, you know, maybe they've been in this a year or 2 or 3 and they're still figuring it out, because it's hard to finish a book, to edit a book, to market a book. Like, there's all these facets, and those are the people that I really want to help, because I was that person, I still am that person, and hopefully I can help you. So the main thing I would say is don't bite off more than you can chew. I'm terrible at this in all aspects of my life, and it's hard because I work very good with an overly full plate, and I work good under pressure, but you can't do everything. You can't do everything. You can't be on every social media platform. You can't be on every campaign, every discount day, and writing and publishing, and it's just, you can't be everywhere. And when I first started, I really wanted to be everywhere. And so this last year, and especially listening to JF Penn, and I cannot recommend her enough, regardless where you're at on your journey, okay? If you are never written a book before but want to, all the way to you're very successful selling books all the time, she's phenomenal no matter what level you're at. She's been in the industry a long time. Her podcast is great. She brings on really, really great people to have discussions. And so definitely use her as a resource. She has a Patreon too that has like extra Q&A sessions every month. And if you're a part of her Patreon, like, I'm not sponsored to say this, okay? I just really like her. If you're a part of her Patreon, which is cheap, it's like $3 or $6 or something. She says the price of a coffee. Every month you can submit questions to her and she'll answer them. And even just listening to other people's submissions, you just learn so much. So she is a wealth of information. But she says this all the time, but it never really like hit me before this last year, where it's like, I'll be fine, I can do this. Or even when I'm literally drowning, like not meeting posting deadlines, not getting stuff out on time, not doing what I plan to do or say I'm gonna do, I'm still like, I got this, I got this. Like, no, girl, you do not have this. You absolutely don't have it. Like, you are like, your nose is underwater at this point. And so this last year I took a hard look at that and picked out my priorities. And I talk about this in the blog post as well, where it's like, the blog is a priority for me because I love writing. I love being able to sit down and say everything I want to say. And so that I'm keeping, and I really hope 2025, the year to focus on that a lot. And the YouTube channel I'm keeping, because I like this. I enjoy having the long conversations and talking to people. And so the blog and the YouTube are going to be my personal main focus in 2025. Now, I do have an Instagram and a Facebook and a TikTok. I also have a social media manager now, thank God, who will be taking a lot of that off my plate. And so it's not that my books won't be marketed on other platforms, it's just the majority of that won't be me. I will still post stuff on there, and that's fine, but it'll take the pressure off. It won't be like, oh, I've got to have a Instagram post every Wednesday, you know. It doesn't matter. My social media marketing manager can handle that, can do that, can plan those out. I think she's doing 3 posts a week right now. And she's also gonna take over sending out my newsletter. Like, I'll get her the content, but she's gonna build the newsletter and send it out. So just having her do some of that stuff is gonna really help me not feel guilty for not doing it, but also she'll meet the deadlines, you know. So that's not gonna be like, oh, that didn't get posted. No, she'll have it done. She's great. Popsicles, breakfast breakfast of champions. Here you go, Remy. And so that's gonna help a ton, knowing here's what I'm focusing on. If I do like a fun post now and again for those other platforms, great. But if I don't, if I go a whole week and not post a single thing, that's fine, because Mariah is still gonna be posting. And so that's gonna be a different shift, and I think help a ton. Publishing, writing and publishing will be my top priority. Everyone who does this says, write the book. Write the book, write the book, write the book. You can't do anything if you don't have a finished book. And that's where I'm at with the Grand Mesa Men series, where it's like, wrap up the loose ends, finish the editing process, get these books out of the world, out in the world, out of the nest, is what I was trying to say. And then planning what's next. And I feel like this is a hard spot for me, but before I go off on this tangent, I do want to say, don't overextend yourself, okay? Pick out the things that really matter to you, delegate the rest, or throw out the rest. If you're not in a financial position to have someone help you, then just don't do it. Just be like, nope, I'm not gonna have a Facebook page, I'm not gonna have an Instagram, I'm not gonna do a TikTok. And that's fine. Build what you're capable of building and leave the rest. Maybe you pick it up later, maybe you don't. Maybe you hire someone to do it later, maybe you don't. But start small. That's my biggest mistake that I made as an indie author, is I tried to do too much. And I should have just started small, wrote my books, published my books, wrote my blog, focused on building my YouTube. But I didn't know, Shalena of 2019, writing Soul Jumper, didn't know that. Didn't know that these would be the things that matter to me. The writing, the publishing, the editing, freelance editing, my YouTube, and my blog. I didn't know that till now. You know, almost 6 years later, because I was writing in 2019. So I'm telling you, so you can do some soul searching and figure out what are the things I really have to hold on to and what are the things I can let go of. JF Penn has a whole, I will try to find it and link it in this video, a whole video about letting things go. And think about that, start small. The other thing, my other biggest mistake, my 2 biggest mistakes, taking on more than I could handle, trying to be everywhere at once. My second biggest mistake is not delivering on things I said I was gonna do. My greatest example of this is I started a Patreon, I shared a link for a Patreon, and then I did 0 with Patreon. It doesn't matter because no one subscribed to it, because I like shared the link and then I said nothing. I just was like, here you go, here's this link. And then I never posted anything. I never encouraged any people past that to sign up for it. So it's like, what the heck were you thinking? I wasn't, obviously. So don't put dates out there saying I'm gonna send this on this day, or I'm gonna post this on this day, or launch something like a Patreon and then do nothing. Like, you're losing your credibility, you're losing like trust with your readers. And for me, I'm small enough that I have faith that I can bounce back from that. I can, you know, keep the trust that I have with the readers who have been with me since the beginning, build trust with new readers, and move forward. But it's best just to don't put yourself in that position. Patreon's something I've wanted to do for a long time. It's something I will do, and it's something I've been working on, you know, behind the scenes, but I haven't said anything about it aside from this video. I haven't shared anything about it because I'm making it. You know, I have all these categories now, and I'm putting these articles in these categories, and I'm building it so that when I do launch it and when I do push it to people and they sign up, there's content there. It's already there. It's built there. And I also am working on having like a back thing. So every month I have things and I'm a little ahead. But again, I have the flexibility right now to do that because of having Mariah on my team and because I'm letting other things go. And so, and I'm not gonna launch that till I'm ready, 100% ready. And not only have all the content there, but know I'm ready to post on this every month. I'm ready to keep up with it. So just being honest with yourself about those things, because sometimes it's really hard because you have this like big vision of what you want it to look like and your dream for your business. But you have to be honest about, am I capable of doing this? Am I, you know, with everything else in my life, no matter what that is, a job or kids or pets or traveling, or it doesn't matter. Just, you watch too much TV. It could be anything. Like, do I have the capacity to do this? And if the answer's no, then wait until something changes. Focus on something else. Let other things go so you do have the capacity. That's my biggest piece of advice for people just starting on this journey is just start small. Don't make promises you can't keep. And it's hard because sometimes you have the intention of keeping the promise, right? It's not like, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. And then in the back of my brain, I'm like, but I'm really not. No, that's not the intention. And that's why I'm really saying that it's important to sit down and have those heart-to-heart conversations with yourself. And what am I really capable of? And then to just try things. That's okay. You know, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna do this every week. Don't say that. Just try to do it every week. And then hopefully you get to a point where you're doing it every week. Try things and see what works and see what doesn't. Just don't make an announcement about something if you're not ready. And that's kind of how I'm moving into 2025. I have plans for what I want to do, what I want to post, my schedule, all of these things. But I'm like, we're reining it in. We're reining it in. You're excited. You want to tell everyone. But we're not doing that. We're just going to do the things and hopefully stick to our schedule and hopefully get to where we want to be. But we're going to we're going to make the commitment to ourselves first, right? And follow through with that first and then voice those things to other people. Or if you're doing it, you won't have to voice it to other people. You know, they will know like, oh, she posts a YouTube video every Thursday. Oh, she posts a blog every whatever day because you're doing it. And so let your actions speak for you. Now, if you are just starting out and you want to talk about this, talk through some of this, send me an email. Just shalenabattles@gmail.com. I can help you talk about or think about what are the things you really want to stick with? What are the things you can let go? Are there resources for you? I can help you think through some of that if you need somebody to like bounce ideas off of. I'd be more than happy to do that. Now, the other thing I was going to say is the what's next has been really hard for me. And I could probably do an entire video on just that. So, when you start out as an indie author, everybody tells you pick a lane, pick a genre, I wouldn't call this a mistake because I'm proud of my books and I'm happy that I published them. But there's a reason people say that. And I didn't do it. I did not listen. And I wrote a paranormal romance, and then I wrote a contemporary romance, and then I wrote a young adult fantasy. So I'm trying to market 3 books to 3 different audiences. And I don't recommend that. If you're starting out, I do not recommend it. My future problem is the Grand Mesa Men series is a contemporary romance series. So at that point, with The Man Before You and those 4 books, I'll have 5 contemporary romance books out. And then I'll have a paranormal romance and a young adult fantasy. Now, a smart person would probably run with contemporary romance, right? It'll be my biggest backlist at that point. Market to that group of readers. And if people find me and they like my work and they want to read those 2 weird books, Soul Jumper and Encampment, that's great. If they're like, hey, I like her as an author, I'm going to read the other stuff she has out there. But focus on marketing my contemporary romance. But then, the next series that I have outlined to publish is what I'm calling right now the Ashen Heart series. And it's a dark romance. It's another 4 series, actually potentially 7. No, 6, potentially 6. Definitely 4 books. Now, my problem is, do I write that series, follow my heart in a sense, and say, I'm writing this, and then we've got a paranormal romance, a young adult fantasy, a group of contemporary romances, and then we'll have a dark romance series. Now we're in 4 different genres at that point. Now the dark romances could arguably be marketed to the same people as the contemporary romances. You do have people that read contemporary romance, me included, and also read dark romance. But dark romance is its own thing. It's its own beast. And it's not for everybody, and not everybody reads it. Not everybody that reads the Grand Mesa Men series will read the Ashen Heart series or even like it. And that's okay. I'm just talking about like marketing purposes here. Therein lies my problem. Do I not write and publish the Ashen Heart series and focus on building my contemporary romance backlist, essentially, and building that to where I'm marketing contemporary romance, like I said, and then I have these kind of 2 outlier books. Or not. And that's where I'm at. So, if you have suggestions or ideas, either you're an indie author yourself who writes multiple genres, or you are an editor or whatever, you're a reader and you either read multiple genres or you're like, no girl, this is a bad idea. That's where I'm at, because I'm gonna have to make that choice early in 2025. Pretty much the Grand Mesa Men series will come out and I will have to decide, what am I doing next? Am I writing more contemporary romance, or am I switching lanes yet again and writing and publishing this dark romance series? So, if you have thoughts on that, I'd love to hear them in the comments, because I am at a loss for what to do, if I'm being quite honest. Because I really love the Ashen Heart series and I'm attached to it already. And I love the characters already and I want to tell their stories. But I also know from a business standpoint, a marketing standpoint, it might not be my best move. And I really don't want this choice to be something that I'm like, well, that was not the right move. And I won't know that until after I make the choice and see what happens with the books. You know, do they sell or not, or what happens. So it's a hard thing. It's gonna be one of the hardest choices that I make probably in this career, is direction. What direction am I going in terms of what I'm writing? So today, however, I am not worrying about that right this moment, because I have editing to do for a client. I have client work to work on today. So I'm gonna get another cup of coffee. This one's almost gone. And I'm gonna sit here and do client work until my eyes pop out of my head, because I need to get it done. But yes, if you have questions for someone who's been doing this for 5 years, who's tried a lot of things, who's failed at a lot of things, but who is continuing to push forward, because I know it's the right thing for me. That's the thing, is I don't have any doubts about that. I might have doubts about direction. I've never doubted that this is the path I'm supposed to be on.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is what I'm meant to be doing, and it's been a rocky 5 years, and it's been a lot of me figuring things out, and it's been a lot of trying to balance this career with motherhood and jobs and moving and family, and that's okay, and I'm gonna keep doing it.